Hello everybody, this is Doll Dazzler and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys another doll out of my doll collection. This is Saucy Walker. She was made by Ideal in 1951 through 1957. When I first purchased Saucy, I had gotten her in an antique store, and I was really excited to finally have a Saucy Walker. They're not really all that hard to find, but they can be quite expensive. They had, I think they had two Saucy Walkers there. This is the better out of the two that that antique store had, and she is, I think she's probably about maybe 22 inches tall. She's made out of all hard plastic, and she's got quite a few joints to her. She's a little bit hard to stand without a stand because of all of her joints. She has what's called the flirty eye, and so when you turn her head, she can move her eyes back and forth. Now, she's not doing it so much right at the moment, but her eyes do move back and forth, and she is also a sleep doll. So you did see her eyes there as I closed them. They move back and forth. That's called the flirty eye. She has got an open mouth. This Saucy is in fairly good condition. She's got all of her original hair. It's a little bit thin in some areas, but for the most part she's in relatively good condition. I did get her on sale, and I am going to be cleaning her up a little bit and trying to fix her hair, but she does have all of her original wig on. It's a little bit matted towards the end, but there's been no hair cutting, so I'll be going online and looking up some of the hairstyles that the Saucy had when she was originally sold. She is not wearing any of her original clothing. I do believe that this dress is probably from the 70s. It looks more 70s than the time period of the 50s. I'll just go through her joints here. So she's got a back and forth in her head, and typically with walker dolls, when you move their legs back and forth, their heads turn. But with this particular Saucy, I don't know if that is customary of a Saucy that's considered a Saucy Walker, where her head doesn't turn, or maybe that they're not hooked to her head. But this one does not. Her head doesn't turn when you move her legs. So I don't know if anybody has a Saucy Walker that they'd be willing to share a picture or video of, and knows the answer to the question of whether all Saucy Walkers their head would move. I would think that their head would move when you move their legs, but I'm not too sure. So if anybody knows that, please leave that in the comments for me. So she does have that where you're able to move her head back and forth, and her eyes should move from side to side. She has kind of like, I think she's also a strung doll in her arms. So her arms will be connected together with a string. And then she also does have, let's see if I can show you guys, the pins that hold in her legs. Kind of a weird setup for a doll, but I also see that she has some holes here, which would suggest that she has a voice box in there. And I don't know if she at one point in time would have been able to talk. I haven't done a lot of research on that part to know if she's like a mama doll, where when you bend her back that she would say mama. I'm not too sure why she has that voice box. But her paint is in beautiful condition. Her eyes, they do get stuck every once in a while. Oh wait, I'm seeing that her legs might be connected. I am mistaken, so I might have just answered my own question. Let's see if I can show that to you. So I was moving her head, And when I move her head, her legs do happen to go back and forth. So her mechanism is probably just a little bit loose inside. But I mean, for the age of the doll, she's in really good condition. There's no cracks or breaks on her anywhere. I do hear something going on inside of her when I tilt her back. So it's a voice box of some kind. I didn't know that Saucy Walkers had a voice box. So more on her legs. So she's got the pin that goes in her hip that would allow her to do the walking. And so when I move her legs, though, her head doesn't move back and forth. So I think that maybe something is loose inside of this Saucy. So she does have jointed knees as well. She is a little bit hard to display because she's so large, but I would consider her pretty popular to collect because of, you can find her online, but the prices for Saucy they're usually pretty high. So if she's in any good condition. Now this doll, like I said, I did get her from an antique store, and they did give me a very good price for her, and maybe it is because of that walking ability. Something is not working quite right inside of her. Her markings are going to be on her neck, and I don't know if I can get that in the camera for you guys. So it says ideal doll, but that's not marked with a year. And I think that it's also, I had unsnapped her dress. It's also on her back. So it says ideal doll there as well. She's a very heavy doll, and she's a little bit cumbersome to try to get to display because of her knees. They always want to give when you're trying to stand her up, and so she is, if you want to stand her up, you definitely need to have her on a stand. Like I said, she doesn't have her original clothing on, so there's no pantaloons and there's no socks and shoes. There's a lot of clothes for Saucy that I could find online. I didn't do a huge lot of information on her because I do know who she is, but some of the original things that she would have been sold with, I don't know what that would be. So if anybody knows and has a little bit more information on her, please leave that in the comments for me. She has an open mouth with teeth. She's a very pretty doll. I always wanted a Saucy Walker, so I've had her for a couple years now, and I still have neglected to try to mess with her a whole lot just because she is vintage. I consider vintage dolls a little bit fragile because they've lasted so long. I do get a little bit concerned with over cleaning them or messing with them a whole lot. I try to buy a doll that's got really good face and really good hair. However, that's not always the case unless you're a pristine collector, and I am not a pristine collector. I like to try to find rarer dolls at good prices, and that usually means that I'm sacrificing something with the doll as far as quality in some ways. But this doll is not, she hasn't sustained any cracking anywhere. All of her joints do work. It's just that walking mechanism inside of her. But when I turn her head, that's when her legs move. So I don't know what that's all about, where it's not the opposite way around. If anybody has a Saucy Walker that knows about the clothes that she would have been wearing, I will be looking for some clothing for her that more match the time period of the doll. But she's in great condition. She's just a little bit, got a little bit of dirt here and there, but nothing that deters from the doll itself. And her hair, of course, needs a little bit of work. But so this is Saucy Walker. If anybody out there has any more information about Saucy, please leave that in the comments for me. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.